I'm on one, stay on my job, live it up, I'm like no problem. Touchdown on Mars, just a pit stop, the clock keeps going tick-tock, I'm out to make shit pop. Focus with my dreams fully mapped out, ownership's the goal, no handouts. Finally get some fresh data with my pedal to the metal.
Trilling alongside me, Jordan, Pravin, Phillips. Wonderful show for us tonight, very special guest. I hope all of us are having a wonderful week. And I'm just going to go right in just real briefly as now basketball is now over and with football on its way out with minicamp. Excuse me, all we have right now is just baseball as we hit the middle of the season. I believe next week now will be All-Star Week. Monday will be the Home Run Derby. Tuesday will be the All-Star Game. And it's very interesting about this time of year. The day before and the day after the All-Star Game are the only 2 days out of the year where there's completely no sports on. So I think that's actually when the ESPYs come on, if I'm not mistaken. Very interesting. There's absolutely no sports on. I mean, you might find, like, college women's hockey or something like that somewhere, but for the most part, all sports are on hold, again, the day before and the day after the All-Star Game. But as far as baseball goes, 2 games are currently going on right now. The San Diego Padres are beating the LA Dodgers 6-0. The Atlanta Braves are up 2-0 over the Chicago Cubs in Chicago. Anaheim over Tampa Bay 5-1. St. Louis beats Pittsburgh 5-1. Detroit loses to Toronto 5-4. New York Yankees barely win today, escaping a win, winning 5-4. Washington Nationals lose to the New York Mets 9-7. 10-1 Minnesota over Texas. Oakland A's beat up Houston 3-1. Kansas City has the Seattle Mariners at home and they win 4-3. And the Colorado Rockies win at home, trouncing the Philadelphia Phillies at a score of 11-2. This year, the All-Star Game will be in San Diego, California. Petco Park, one of the nicest parks in the nation. Not the best team in the world, but very nice ballpark, very nice city, and it should be a great time. I actually, as you guys all know, me and Pravin, we live out here in San Diego, and myself, I'm a big Yankee fan. The Yankees hardly ever come out to San Diego, being that the American League and National League teams don't really play each other too much, although in recent years, Commissioner Rob Manfred is actually making it more and more prevalent that American League and National League teams will play each other more than just in the World Series. So they came out. New York Yankees came out to San Diego, and the Padres hosted them, and I went to all 3 games over this past weekend. It's a wonderful experience. I grew up personally liking both teams, diehard fan of both, so it was very humbling and very surreal watching them both play at Petco Park. That's pretty much it as far as our sports update. I really want to get into our entrepreneurial spotlight tonight, as it is the main body of our show. We have a very special guest tonight that Jordan lined up, up-and-coming, very young entrepreneur, very inspired. His name is Hayden Bowles. I don't want to butcher that, Hayden. I apologize, but I'm going to let him talk about his cashing out luxury movement, his Instagram crash course as well that he'll touch on, and his investment side of the game. And I guess without further ado, Hayden, you are live on the Chelladurai Inc. show, sir. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for definitely thank you for your time tonight. So, Hayden, as Jordan probably gave you a little rundown of what we do here, we just let you kind of have the floor here for 15, 20 minutes or so, or however long. If you could just give us a little background about yourself, what inspired you, your passion, your journey really through where you are today, and your journey through where you want to take your life, both personally and professionally. So, just a little bio, if you could, maybe about yourself, just to familiarize yourself to our audience, would be great.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Hayden Bowles. I'm 16. I currently reside in Minnesota. For goals, I definitely want to move out to California by the time I'm done with high school. I you guys found me through my Instagram. I started that about 2 months ago because I ran across some big Instagram influencers. They were telling me how they were making money, and it was just the most, the craziest thing to actually see that through a free platform you can actually make money like that, and there's no downside. So, I threw up my Instagram account, and in the last month I gained 10,000 followers, which has really been inspiring to me. I never actually thought it would blow up like this. I actually had to turn off notifications on my phone because it was getting a little too crazy. But so that's one way that I've been going about doing that. I'm starting to make money off that, but I really just have a passion for the quotes that I post. They're all either created by me or I've found through my mentors. So I now currently run 2 different Instagram accounts, and that's one way that I'm trying to grow those. My goals for those is to hit each of those at 100,000 within the next year. I also trade stock and options. For stocks, it's mostly penny stocks. Basically, I'll trade anything under $20. I've been doing very well in that. I had a mentor who's really taught me a lot. I'm basically just trying to take my life to the point where I don't have to worry about bills. I don't have to worry about a boss. I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I want. That's definitely what I'm trying to do. And I've never had to work for someone, and I really don't want to, or I don't plan on it. As for people telling me what I can and can't do, there's definitely haters, and if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I know all you people listening are probably interested in that. There's a lot you have to give up. Like, I probably only have one friend who can actually keep up with me on an intellectual level. So it's definitely a different playing field. Sure you have acquaintances, but people who actually know you, that gets very limited. Also family, they're definitely just going to call you crazy. Until I made my first couple thousand, my dad was very convinced that I was going to lose all the money I had saved up for a couple of years mowing yards. But as for focusing on what I'm doing now and trying to narrow that down, I realized that I was bouncing around between too many things. 1 week I was trying to create some course teaching people how to trade stocks like I have. Then the next I'm trying to do affiliate marketing. So I realized that the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. So now I'm trying to focus down on posting on my Instagrams 3 times a day, continuing to grow that. And then I'm focusing all my energy currently on creating an Instagram course, which will be for sale. I'll shoot you guys over the information once it's ready. Won't be that expensive at all. I'm thinking like $20-$30. It's going to go over everything in depth, how I've grown my account, how I've gotten to where I've gotten, and how you can do the same. There's a lot of people out there who don't even think that Instagram can make them money. And quite frankly, you see a lot of travel pages where people are posting their exotic vacations. You could have that vacation paid for just by posting a few photos. Now, as for where I've come from, middle-class background, nice house, spent the summers up at the cabin, grew up, I have a brother and a sister. They're definitely all the traditional go-to-college route, but I'm definitely a strong believer in college is not for everyone. If you don't know what you're going to major in, and I'm not anti or pro-college. If you're going to be a medical doctor or an accountant, sure, you need to go to school. But if you're going to go to major in Spanish, I would definitely recommend just moving to a Latin American country, getting a job so you're getting paid to learn Spanish, and you'll learn it 10 times faster because you're actually in that country. Also, I spent a lot of time doing different experiments. For my Instagram, I didn't even hit my first 1,000 followers for over a month, which was a little bit heartbreaking. But I picked up on a mentor, Ty Lopez. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's pretty big in the entrepreneur world. And he, brought this whole light in front of me talking about experimenting. So I tried different photos in the background of the quotes, different filters, different sizes, different everything. And now I've been able to figure out what works, averaging almost 2,000 likes per photo, starting to make money doing that. And the coolest thing is I'm 16.
Yeah, that is definitely the coolest thing, Hayden. That is, I'm blown away that you're your mindset, where you at right now. I mean, you have more than just a head on your shoulders. You are going to be killing the game. You already sound like you're killing it, but man, I mean, I'm 28, so I mean, when you're my age, seriously, the sky's the limit. So big ups to you, man. I mean, me and Jordan are just baffled right now, mouths open. I mean, you and I and the three of us are really on the same. You know, when you talk about, you have one friend that's really you kind of vibe with on your intellectual level. Jordan right here. I mean, he's my only confidant. He's the only guy I can really speak to with that too. So that's pretty accurate over here. Yeah, and I guess I don't want to give away your secrets because I know it's all for sale. But yeah, I guess I did have a question. I mean, you have an Instagram account of 2 months. I mean, you have 19,400 followers. That is truly amazing. So obviously there is a formula that you're well aware of on how to drive traffic and build your following, and you've mastered that. And again, I don't want to have you give away any of your trade secrets because I know that's going to be things to sale that you'll be able to show the world. But that's
for sure.
That's fabulous. So I guess Hayden, going back to the day trading, how did you come about that? How did you really get into really that sort of field? I mean, I know you'd mentioned briefly that you had a mentor. What drove you really to start day trading? Is it day trading or just regular trading anyway?
Yeah, it's mostly day trading, in and out in a few minutes or hours. And that was definitely interesting because that's kind of what led, and that really stemmed off into my other entrepreneur stuff. That was sort of the first thing I came across. I was about 12. We were doing this thing in school where, they give you the fake money online. Everybody goes through it. And it definitely interested me seeing all the lower price stocks move just crazy throughout the day. And, I mean, I realized you could make a lot more money in a lot less time. So I did some research online, found a couple guys. I found one, Tim Sykes. He's all right, but I definitely have to credit him with a lot of my early learning. He laid a foundation. He was real, very honest with stuff. And that stemmed off to other people. And through him, his service, other mentors, I've now have a group of 6 to 7, really close friends online. And, we got big plans. We're all trading, young entrepreneurs. And, yeah, it's definitely a completely different ballgame now that the internet is here.
Absolutely. Folks, if you guys are just joining us, I have a young entrepreneur, 16-year-old Hayden Bowles, talking with us. Find him on Instagram at Cashing Out Luxury, cashing without the G, of course, as he's talking about his day trading and his entrepreneurial endeavors. Jordan, did you have any questions at all that you'd like to ask Hayden at all?
Yeah, hey Hayden, thanks again for joining us on the show. It's been an excellent episode so far, and we really appreciate you coming on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely. So, one thing that we do is, and really, I'm really curious as to what you're reading. That's one of our biggest questions that we ask all our spotlight guests. What's on the list that you've been reading, or what would you recommend at the very top of your list?
Ooh, books. Definitely a good subject to get on. Got a drawer full of them right here. Definitely, I mean, there's different subjects you can read up on. I would recommend getting some of the more general ones on success if you don't know what you're trying to do. The 10X Rule from Grant Cardone, that's a great one. Alex Becker, he has the 10 Pillars of Wealth. That was recently released. Very short book. Very, very good. Definitely top of my list. The Millionaire Fast Lane, MJ DeMarco, that's a good one. And the cool thing with books is, I mean, I don't ever read every single word. I'll skim through usually a book every 2 days. I'll skip through, look at what chapters seem interesting, and I definitely have to credit a lot of that to Ty Lopez. He's the one that even got me started reading, and that's probably mostly where I am, now today.
Sure. I've heard of that from Ty, actually, that book a day, and I've never really tried it out. I sit there and read my books word for word, but maybe that's something something I should look into, because it seems like you're able to. Do you feel like maybe you're able to take in a lot more information since you're kind of moving so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely just a different style. Like, people will say, oh, you're not really reading the books. Like, who cares? I don't really care what you think. I'm reading the book or part of it to get the content that I want so that I can go apply it. So, I mean, there's definitely good methods you can use to read a lot faster. And Ty definitely touches on those. But, I mean, you don't even have to read every chapter. If you're going to read every word, just pick 2 or 3 chapters, and then you can always come back to the book in a couple months.
Sure, definitely. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, I need to definitely try that out. And, going back to, I know you touched on the penny stocks a little bit. Going back to that, what would you advise to somebody who's just starting out as far as like a monetary investment? How much can somebody get started? Would it be like, a couple $100? Do they need to get up to a couple $1,000? Or what does it take to really step in?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a total noob and you don't know any of the patterns, anything of what you're learning, I would recommend finding a mentor. There's a few out there. Tim Sykes is good, Tim Grattani, Nate from Investors Underground, and they all have these DVDs you can get, and they're definitely, worth the watch. But as for getting started capital, I know the top student of Tim Sykes, his name's Tim Grattani. He has turned his $1,500, and he just passed $3 million last week in profits in 4 years. So you could get started with a few thousand. That's a good number.
Okay, definitely. No, that's awesome. And Hayden, so with another thing that we didn't touch on, which I'm really curious as to how that works. It's something new we didn't have when I was in high school. You said you're no longer actually attending a traditional type of a high school. Is that correct? You're able to attend high school online. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting thing. I'm currently testing it out over the summer, and as long as I receive good grades, my parents are going to allow me to continue online. So I'm just taking a few classes. And it just makes it so much easier because I can do it, I can schedule it around work, around stock market open, and all my stuff. But it just cuts out, all the bull crap. Like, you spend at least 30 minutes getting to and from school, in between classes, waiting for other people, and it's just much faster. And I honestly think I can finish school in a year.
No, I have no doubt in my mind that you can do that, to be honest. That's another thing that I noticed from you that kind of, took me aback. And I mean, probably a lot of these questions we're asking are probably ridiculous kind of questions as far as like, I know your time management, that's what you're looking at your time on a different type of level. I know when we connected first, you connected with me letting me know that you were actually planning your week out when we first connected. I think it was on Monday or Sunday. You were planning your entire week out in one day. Is that what you do? You set up your entire week?
Yeah,
at one
so
time?
I have a whiteboard, and I'll set daily, schedules, and I'll, be able to check off at the end of the day if I accomplished it or not. I'll also do that with weekly, what I have to do, what appointments I have scheduled, interviews like this. And that's definitely a way that you can keep yourself on track. Because, I mean, it's so easy to just get lost in YouTube or in the internet itself. There's so much stuff.
Yeah, that's extremely true. I mean, if back at your age, to be honest, that's exactly what I was doing, getting lost in the internet and everything else that life has to offer. But I mean, that's awesome. Is there any techniques that you would advise to anybody as far as, better managing time in order to maintain productivity and efficiency?
Yeah, you could either do it the night before or on the morning of a day. Create your schedule, what you want to accomplish that day. Definitely don't have it too easy, but don't have it unachievable. And plan, I'd say like I do, I'm going to wake up, I go for a run, I come back, post on my Instagram, make breakfast, go trade some stocks for an hour or two, go to the gym. I continue throughout my day. Every couple hour blocks, I'll check off something and make sure I'm getting it done. But you can also pick up a couple books. Right here I have The Productivity Project by Chris Bailey. That's definitely a good book to look through. There's a lot of little points on how to just, effectively maximize your time.
Okay, that's solid. That's solid. And I'm trying to think. I just drew a blank right there. I had something I was going to ask here. Here, Aaron, did you?
Yeah. Other than this is Aaron again. Other than the literary, portion, what do you think, Hayden, about influential people in your life? I know you had mentioned a couple mentors briefly, and those could be an answer. But anybody in your life particularly that you know or don't know, maybe historical figures, maybe a religious leader, whoever, anybody that you've either studied or came in contact with and actually worked with that has really helped you or inspired you and really added to your overall passion to your entrepreneurial endeavors, whether they be entrepreneurs or not. Like I said, they don't need to be, but anybody in your life, mom, dad, too, anybody in particular come to mind?
Yeah, so, there's definitely mentors and all of that, there is a lot of just fluff out there on the internet, and there's only a few good courses worth your time and money. But there's also motivational speakers like Gary Vaynerchuk, Andy Frisella. They're, great at motivating, but if you actually want to learn something from someone, you have to connect with them more on a deeper level. Like for me, there's a stock trader who I knew him. He worked with one of my other mentors who I was currently being mentored with about stocks. And I'm walking out of the gym, and he's walking in, and I was so flabbergasted. I was like, what? Hello? And so I took him out to lunch, and we talked, and that was definitely a great way to connect with someone who had the same mindset. And I got some great, points out of that. But there's also the other people, like my brother. He's definitely different from me. He doesn't care about money at all or anything. What he's trying to do is just be happy. So, for him, taking that point of your life and just trying to stimulate happiness, be that love, friend. And so that's definitely something I can learn from just an average person and implement some of that stuff into my own life.
Great. Wonderful. And, I kind of just Jordan and I both kind of fired a bunch of questions at you, Hayden, and I appreciate all the great answers that you've given. Is there anything that you'd like to, relay to Jordan, myself, our audience, anything that you'd like to, kind of cast your footprint into this entrepreneurial spotlight of this show? Is there anything you would like to say at all? Any advice really to our audience? Whether they day trade, whether they don't day trade, because we have a lot of young up and coming entrepreneurs like yourself that listen in a lot, and if you could leave them with really any collateral. Anything come to mind? Sorry to put you on the spot like this, but you sound very very poised. You sound like you've got a lot to say, and I'm sure people have told you this before. When you speak, I'm sure people listen. So if you had anything really to say, we'd love to hear it.
Okay, yeah. So I would just recommend whenever you're trying to learn something, and we all get to that point where we just want to make money fast. Just be careful on the internet. Like, there's a lot of people out there, and you need to think, why are they teaching, this system? They're probably making their money from teaching it, not actually implementing what they're teaching. So there's very few people out there, and I would definitely do your research and maybe even talk to them in person if you could. Attend seminars, that's a big thing. But you're also best just learning it on yourself, and then eventually you can branch out and teach other people yourself and make money from that. There's a lot of people who make a couple million doing something they can't really scale, so they turn to teaching other people, and you can make many, many, many millions doing that.
Yeah, the old the old saying was, if you can't do, you teach, right?
Actually,
I mean, not all the time true. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there, plenty of professors that are more than qualified. I'm sure great attorneys teach law. But
school teachers
that
and
is
stuff,
the old adage.
I wouldn't really credit school teachers too much. Like, I just never understood how someone who went to college and read something out of a 30-year-old textbook can teach me how to be successful. That's not really something practical.
Agreed. Sure. Yeah, Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, Hayden, again, I'm extremely, both myself and Aaron are just kind of blown away right now by, everything that you said and kind of the direction that you're heading right now. So just as a final kind of a salute, I just want to thank you again for joining us on the show. And just to say, you're an inspiration, bro. Like, I mean, really, right now, me and Aaron feel like we have a lot of work to do. But yeah, man, you're really an inspiration. Everything that you're doing is solid. You're moving in the right direction. I'm sure you don't need anybody to tell you that, but thank you again for joining us, and keep doing what you do, bro. And we'll definitely keep in contact.
Yeah, for sure.
Hayden, thanks so much.
Right,
we really
awesome.
appreciate it. I know you're out in Minnesota, and I'm sure it's probably at least 11:30, if not 12:30. I don't know if you're Central or you're Eastern. I think you're Central time out there.
Essentially, yeah, it's only 11:30. Not too bad.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we will keep in contact with you. And best of luck to you. Really, best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Best of luck as well.
Of course. Thanks. Folks, again, that was Hayden Bowles, Cashing Out Luxury. It's his IG name on Instagram. Please do follow him. Wow, Jordan, I'm really amazed. I mean, I've had an Instagram account. I don't use it too much, my personal one, but to really hear he's been doing this for 2 months. I mean, he's had an Instagram account for 2 months, and he has almost 20,000 followers. Truly remarkable. Can't wait to actually check out his Instagram crash course on how to really build your brand, build yourself, because there is a formula to it. There's definitely a formula to the madness. There is a method to the madness, folks. And I got to tell you, if a 16-year-old can do it, not to rule out the 16-year-old. That kid's got more passion than probably 10 men that you'll meet on the street. But if he can do it, you can do it too. All of us can do it. It's I hate to quote Gatorade, but you got to win from within. You really do. And it's wonderful that we've had guests on for weeks and weeks. I think this is episode 42 or 43 for Jordan and I. Needless to say, I mean, you can be inspired by anybody, younger or older. Real quick, I do want to let you know we are going to go off the air right now, but join us for the after hours on our website, www.ChellaDuraiInc.com, as we have our last 15-minute segment will be on there. Those of you tuning in on blog online right now, you will be cut off. But again, check us out our last 15 minutes very soon on our Chelladurai Inc. website. But anyway, I just want to get that out. Truly remarkable. I never really thought of penny stocks myself to really as a form of hustle. I thought you made pennies on penny stocks, or you lost a lot of money. But going back to what he said. I mean, if you have the right mentor, and you really got to, it's so much better, and you're so much more of an advantage if you can really have a mentor teach you. If you have somebody experienced in the industry really bring you under their wing and teach you the ropes and teach you the chutes and ladders of the game, in this case day trading, you will be so much more better off, especially in the beginning. I mean, when you're not so knowledgeable about it and you get all this in the beginning, it's a lot better than starting over and having to relearn something. So I think, again, that Hayden is at a tremendous advantage. It sounds like he went into the day trading not knowing a whole lot, but he was around the right people. And I say this a lot, folks. I talk about the team. I mean, there's no I in team. I hate to be cliche, but but there's not. And the ability to surround yourself with the right people, to associate with the right people, getting the right people on the bus is very, very, very crucial to your success and everybody else's. I've said this before, a book I read in college, probably the only book I read in college, really read, author Jim Collins, From Good to Great. He did a 15-year study on thousands of companies and really what were the tangible and intangible things that made companies good versus making companies great. And he's one of the crucial ones. The second one that he said on the list, I won't forget it, is bringing the right people on the bus being the company. And he really, that really hit home for me because, again, you can't do it by yourself. The president can't do it by himself. A CEO can't do it by himself. A sole proprietor can't do it by himself. You got to have the right people on the bus. You need to have your CFO. You got to have your VP. You got whatever industry, whatever community you're in. You got to have a team to really ultimately be successful. And just going back to Hayden, it really sounds like he was able to get that really early on in life, and it's just going to jettison him to success in the future. So that was great. Time now is 9:31. You are in the after-hour spot, and we always know what the after-hour spot is all about. Jordan loves to talk about, what's going on, and this is kind of Jordan's time. But I don't know, Jordan, if you had anything, I put you on the spot today about any books going on that you're reading or any valid points that really you came across this week that you think our audience should be aware of.
Sure, definitely. Awesome episode so far. Really, really great one. Thanks again to Hayden for joining us and kind of sharing his insights. And really, I think what we saw tonight was a student, a real student with a passion for knowledge and the desire to study and grow. This is the definition of a student. Right, we've kind of lost the definition of what it really means to be a student and to really educate ourselves. And Hayden is a wonderful example of a student who's taken the time to educate himself, practical knowledge. And this is what we kind of covered last week on as far as the book review. I discussed, what book did I bring up last week? It was one that was a little more practical. Sorry, it's not coming to the top of my mind right now. We were talking about websites, right? Building websites, HTML and CSS. So it's funny because this really ties right back in with Hayden. So a lot of times what I've been reading is a lot of the mindset stuff, knowing that there's a direction, that you want to go, which I really do believe that most people on this planet have this internal calling. Some may have it stronger than others. And, unfortunately in a world that we live in today, some may turn a deaf ear to that calling. But when you read these books, you kind of turn your frequency closer and tune in to the right waves as far as which direction to set your sail. Once you set your sail, it's time to get the practical knowledge in. And that's exactly what Hayden has done. He sought out the practical knowledge and then applied it. And it's funny, me being, I turned 29 years old next month. It's crazy to think about it. And these little epiphanies are kind of hitting me harder and harder as far as getting knowledge that you can actually turn around and apply, not down the line, not, studying, for example, not studying for 4 or 5 years to turn around and apply it or attempt to apply it after that, 5 years later. More like reading a book, a piece of information, and applying it simultaneously so it actually sticks. It has actual value. So that's kind of the biggest thing that has been hitting home for me, and I hope that for everyone else, Hayden has displayed is a product of that, of learning and applying and producing results, right? Because in everything in life, everything we do, down to fitness, down to financial, down to relationship, every action that you take hopefully has a desired result in mind as the outcome. If not, then we're kind of just running in circles. That's what goes back to the setting of goals, the setting of your morning. Again, everything links back, right, Aaron, to last week. We were discussing the whiteboard. You see what the whiteboard did for Hayden. I mean, we were just discussing these things, and now you can look at a young man at the age of 16 who has been using these tools. They're not expensive either. Been using these tools and using the tool of discipline, persistence, and habit, right? Our daily habits are the cumulative. We are the cumulative of our daily habits, whether that be hitting the drive-through, whether that be drinking that extra beer, whether that be whatever, running the mile, maybe hitting the bench press, hitting the weights, hitting the swimming pool to get some cardio. All these habits that you have add up and produce a result. It's unreal. I mean, it's unreal, really, when you look around yourself right now. You look around where you are, the situation that you're in, and you realize that you are in full control of that situation. It's really empowering. I mean, tie it back to the extreme ownership. I know we did cover this one, extreme ownership, how U.S. Navy SEALs lead and win, I believe. Anyways, Extreme Ownership is a wonderful book which really gets into the mindset, pushes you into the mindset that you are responsible for everything. You need to take responsibility for all the actions that you take and take responsibility for actions that others take around you. Hence the name, Extreme Ownership. If you're having issues with your wife, with your husband, whoever it may be, maybe you need to take the blame for it as opposed to blaming others. Blaming others never resolves a problem. Blaming ourselves actually resolves problems. So, I'm kind of going off topic, but again, tying it back specifically to tonight's show, last week's show, what we've kind of been touching on, pressing on, really what we're going to continue to hammer on, to be honest, is obtaining knowledge. It might be technical knowledge. It might push you out of your comfort zone. It might make you uncomfortable. It might make you stretch. It might make your head hurt. As I said, when I was listening to Elon Musk's book, SpaceX, Tesla, and Solar City. I don't know if that's the name of it, sorry. But it's Elon Musk's most recent book. Anyways, that book, when you have somebody reaching so far, what was that quote? He had Elon Musk made $180 million off of PayPal, put 110 into SpaceX, put 60 million into Tesla, they're at 170, and then 10 million into Solar City. 180 million he made, 180 million was immediately reinvested. He had to borrow money to pay rent. What you focus on is what you experience. If you're focused on small problems, you experience small problems. If your focus is just to pay the rent, just to pay the electricity bills, just to pay the water bill and the trash, that's what you'll experience. If you're trying to put human beings on the moon in order to further progress humanity and create electric cars to reduce pollution, then rent is not even an issue. It'll happen, right? And we don't even need to press to that extent, because Elon Musk is a very special human being. We all can't be Elon Musk. I know I, for one, am definitely not. But we can all strive to reach the next level by becoming uncomfortable. I myself am guilty of not stretching as far as I need to be stretching. So that's the main thing is, again, get that technical knowledge, whether it makes you uncomfortable, does not matter. That's the only way to grow. Grow through discomfort and apply that technical knowledge. And let me shoot it back over to Aaron. Thank you guys all for joining us again.
Of course, thanks so much, you guys. That was the After Hours Spot, episode 42, maybe 43. I don't have it up right now, but it's been real, and it's been fun, and it's been real fun. Of course, Jordan hits the After Hours Spot so wonderfully. Folks, I hope you enjoyed it tonight as much as Jordan and myself enjoyed it. It's wonderful learning from all different walks of life. Today it happened to come from a high schooler. I mean, the guy was incredible. The guy was incredible. Again, that's Hayden Bowles. Check him out, Cashing Out Luxury on Instagram. He's obviously doing something right. He's been doing it. Only had an Instagram account, at least a business one, for 2 months, and now will have 20,000 followers, I'm sure, by tomorrow. Check him out, as well as look on his. When you follow him, check out his Instagram crash course as well on how to really build your brand, even if your brand is yourself or your company, how to build it, because there is a formula out there, folks. Again, Jordan, I really want to appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I've got a couple minutes left. I'm going to go ahead and end this show out. But stay on that hustle. Have a wonderful week. All-Star Weekend's out this coming week. You guys are baseball fans, great. If not, don't even worry about it. It's just another thing to slow you down on your hustle game. Try and stay focused. Just weed out all the bad stuff, block it out, and keep that head high and that middle finger higher, like I'm always saying, folks. So we will see you guys same time next week, Thursday, episode 43, I believe. And we will see you guys then. We'll have a wonderful show lined up for you guys. And until then, take care.
Clock keeps going tick-tock. I'm out to make shit pop. Focus with my dreams fully mapped out. Ownership's the goal, no handouts. Find me in some fresh denim with my pedal to the metal. Takes more than an elevator to get on my level. Nights like tonight, watch the stars shine bright. LAX to Chennai on a first class flight. I let my seat recline. She wants a glass of wine. Come from nickels and dimes, now we don't wait in line. Not a moment to miss, I'm on the move with this. Time's moving so fast, I can barely keep track. Eyes bloodshot, gripping on a scotch glass. I can hear the joker call and see who has the last laugh. Nickels and dimes are not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen. Couple nickels and dimes are not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen. Days off, not for me. I've been going in deep. Tell me, will it pay off? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Feeling I'ma take off on a runway. I'm way off. Private jets and champagne. Expression is my campaign. Keeping in the fast lane. Fuck you and those limits, man. Never will it ever change. Here on out, far from tame. Make decisions, give it time. Focus, moving to my prime. My passengers a straight dime. Look, get yours, I'm getting mine. I'm back at it like vengeance is mine, bitch. So focused on the moment, this is timeless. We hope that you can play and rewind this. Just let it go, make a mind shift. Look, drop the shoe if it doesn't fit. Pulling up at a crossroads, no time for hesitation. Moving forward, no looking back, it's a celebration. It's feeling like that time, a time for revolution. Carry heavy ambition until we reach a resolution. Nickels and dimes are not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen. Couple nickels and dimes are not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen. Hats off, blast off, we coming with a mask off. Either you win or you out, baby, it's time to find out whether you win for the change or if you win for the cloud. hats off, blast off, we coming with our masks on. Baby, we ain't afraid, forever staying paid. Just master the craft and go all in for the trade. Come from nickels and dimes and not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen. Come from nickels and dimes and not waiting in line. The hustle and the flow is just a state of mind. To everybody out there with heavy ambition, just know that we on a mission. Please close your eyes and just listen.